mean, child? Now close the door! How about the story? What a lovely storm tonight. I certainly hope you brought an appetite for a succulent tale of horror. This one is called The Tomato Vines. Outside of the city limits, between the backwoods and the boondocks, you can always find a house, that old house that needs a little work and fixing up, with the broken windows and chipping paint, termite-eaten wood planks, and missing shingles. Yeah, that house. That house that seemed abandoned for so long, decades upon decades, never seeing any visitors or occupants. Still, the shrubbery and vegetation has always been well maintained and full of life. How? One might think. How could such lovely plantation flourish around such a dilapidated old building? Maybe a descendant of the previous owners, not finding any use in trying to sell the inherited homestead, promised to keep up the family garden. You shake the thought off when logically the shack should have been leveled a long time ago, making more room for the vegetable field, then expanding, of course. You've lived in the town for years, every day passing that abandoned landmark to go to school and eventually riding into work. Your love for the countryside caused you to abandon your previous dreams of escaping to the real world and left you rooted to your old hometown. And a young at heart feeling of adventure beckons you to wander onto the broken down, rotten planked death trap of a house and its lawn. Just to sneak a peek, maybe even a taste of what your friends used to call the forbidden fruitation. After so many years of acknowledging the existence of the ramshackle wood glass hut, it's a wonder you even attempted to climb onto the greenbrier steep leading onto the oddly green yard several feet all around the perimeter. But that wouldn't be the case today. No. Today you're going to investigate what has caused the greenery to stay so lively, so lovely, so forbidden. You don't have anywhere to be today, right? So you turn off your car and get out. Just as you have second thoughts, that nice summer wind wisps into your nostrils as a calming aroma. It fills your lungs, an external breath of confidence. Once you exhale, you're focused on one thing: those leaves, so lush and inviting, so seemingly happy to see you. The way they dance in the drafts, not shriveling on such a warm day, but embracing it, almost waving, signaling you over. Hypnotizing, really. Ignoring such an allure to the senses would surely be a sin unto nature. Yes, you have to go now. So you climb onto the mound. Dead grass and vines surround the twisted and rustling mailbox. You wonder about the difference in the sprouts just ahead. Probably just a different kind of sorting, you guess. But just the sight of the spriggans of bold hunter green allows you to leave these curiosities behind as you progress toward the house. Each step on the soft compressing blades of grass release a newfound sense of relaxation, almost as a draining of energy, but not as lethargic. You see the front half of the house is vibrantly lit with the sun's colorful reflections of lilies, roses, and tulips. Holly bushes line the side you're closest to. As you approach, you see the beautiful ivy vines have overtaken the for sale sign, which was probably more obviously inviting to the now familiar house. The closer you get to it, the more visually enticing the house seems. You walk toward the other side of the shrubs, right past the far corner of the house. The intrigue of vegetation stretches out still to a lone tree. Full and gorgeous, with the tire swing tied on by a thick, unaging rope. How can this be? You begin to question your observations yet again. Another step on the lawn, and you are put back at ease. You take in a breath of harmonic pheromones and continue toward the back of the shack. You look at the side of the tree and notice it's graying and with a trunk opposite the ever-swaying tire. Not even a leaf on a single branch. You step closer and see the lovely green turns to dead, wiry grass. You get a chill. But it isn't from the calm-inducing wind this time. It's from your gut. There is something very wrong about this place. You knew it all along. All your childhood, all your life. You knew you shouldn't have come here. You knew this wasn't where you were supposed to be, and you knew. You take a step to break from the vicinity. You knew this was where you were meant to be, all along. You shake your head. You're just thinking something now. What was it? You look to the back edge of the house and see the vegetable garden. That's what it was, wasn't it? You were going to have a look at the luscious, ripe veggies. You first noticed the tomato vines. Oddly enough, only a few of them are red and pluckable. The others are still only bulbs, small and green. You decide to leave them here for now and walk onto the peas on the other side of the back steps. Oh yes, these are very much ready to be taste tested. Such a loud pop when snapped from their holes. Oh yes, these peas are ready for harvest. But just as soon as you start pulling and popping the pods from their vines, the wind catches you again. It's pushing you toward the tomatoes. But you say, as if someone else is listening, there aren't that many tomatoes. And there are all these peas and other vegetables ready to be picked. The air is thickened by the scent of the few fresh, ripe tomatoes. And you counter your initial thoughts with a quick action to the tomato vines. One is so plump and seducing. Okay, you think, I'll try this one. Then I'll let the others grow. You pull the ripened fruit from its vine and into your teeth. Without contempt, the tomato severely melts in your mouth. And you drop the small bushel of peas you had in your other hand just so you can get a better grip on this tongue-teasing food. After a few juicy bites, you feel something around your legs. You think the juice may have dripped onto it, so you pay no attention. After all, the tomato is so delectable. You don't want to interrupt your long-awaited snack. Another bite. The feeling around your calf gets tighter, sharper even. You feel as if your leg is being sliced, mangled downward. You look and see you're wrapped up in a tomato vine. You must have stepped into it while you were ignorantly savoring the fruit. But it keeps getting tighter. You struggle to release. It's like a Chinese finger trap. The harder you pull, the more pressure you feel. You fall to the ground, letting go of the tomato. The vines squeeze you into themselves. You feel pressure as your body is engulfed. Your blood is being drained from your veins, siphoned into the roots from under the soil. You are dragged down, buried up to your neck. But just before you are thrust completely in, just before you're taken, you look at the half-dead tree. It's sprouting leaves again. It's coming back to life, and you're fading into death. You knew all along, this wasn't where you were supposed to be. Your entire childhood, your entire life. You knew you never should have come here. You knew this would be your fate. And Mother Nature thanks you. What a juicy tear that was. One might say you could get yourself wrapped right up in it. I sure hope I didn't scare you. No, I'm not. You wouldn't mind sharing a nice juicy tomato with Mother Malin. Oh, that one's got a little bite. I've enjoyed your visit. Come back again. Until then, I'll see you in your nightmare.